Well, there are some Premier League matches coming on this weekend. I don't know if it's match week 7 or match week 8 or match week whatever, but we've got 7 out of 10 Premier League matches that we need to preview for you. So let's get into it. This is Red Card Radio Preview Show. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whenever you're listening from. Thanks for tuning in. Red Card Radio is a weekly look at the Premier League from three friends who support different clubs. As always, I'm James. I support Arsenal. That's Brad. He supports Chelsea. That's Sean. He supports Tottenham Hotspurs. Let's get right to it, boys. So kicking off, we got 2 games on Friday. So we've got Villa, Southampton, and then Forest, Fulham. That's a newly promoted battle. Whatever, however you want to say it. Saturday morning.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's a. You ready for this? Promotion commotion.
Ooh, I
wow.
don't dislike that. We maybe need to riff on it a little bit, but I don't dislike it. Or we need to
promotion.
Put it to some sultry music. Whenever this podcast actually becomes serious and we get some
we'll
sound,
put some
Barry
some
Manilow
we'll put some smooth jazz
yeah.
And it'll be now this is coming to you. This is the promotion commotion.
Yeah, little saxophone in the background. Wow. I like that. That's good. And if you want to sponsor that section, hit us up at info.redcardradio@gmail.com.
We're specifically talking to Kenny G.
Yes,
right now.
Bro, I was about to say that. Kenny G, come through, bro. I love Duotones is a great album, and I'm not ashamed to say it.
Love Kenny G.
Saturday, Wolves and City at the Molineux. Newcastle hosts Bournemouth. Spurs are hosting Leicester at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and then Brentford host Arsenal. Arsenal return to the ground where they were so unceremoniously defeated 1 year ago in the Premier League. That's on Sunday morning. Everton host West Ham United. Is that an El Sackio, Sean? We'll find out.
That's El Sackio number 3.
There we go. It's officially official, and we will get into that.
We didn't know the Zagreb game was El Sackio. We didn't know that, but so it is officially number 3, but technically number 4.
Wow.
Technically, it might be number 5 because Scott Parker got fired after
came out of nowhere.
Liverpool.
So no, that's technically number 5 if we're speaking technical.
Yo, Chelsea's just over here catching strays. We didn't plan that at all, and Sean just out here choosing violence. Speaking of Chelsea,
Croatians are my homies.
Speaking of Chelsea, the Chelsea-Liverpool match, the United Leeds match, and the Brighton & Hove Albion Crystal Palace match, all 3 of those games have been postponed due to lack of policing resources. Of course, because of the ongoing national mourning and funeral procession for Queen Elizabeth II. Of course, our condolences go to the royal family and anyone who is emotionally moved by that situation. But this weekend, you could take your mind off it a little bit by watching some football. And let us preview that football for you. So, kicking off first, I want to start with that promotion commotion. Right, Sean?
Yeah, let's do it.
So, this is Forest hosting Fulham, not a London derby. Don't know why
not a London derby.
Don't know why anyone would have been confused about that in the past, but not a London derby. How do you guys see this going? Because the reason why I bring this up, Forest and Bournemouth played about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, and Forest got off to a roaring start, got up 2-0, and then Bournemouth come back to win the game 3-2. I would say that's a pretty devastating result for Forest. And Fulham, of course, we've all been pretty high on Fulham, excuse me. None so much as Sean. Sean's been, thought they were going to finish mid-table. Brad and I both had them getting relegated. So what do we expect from this match?
So I understand that both of these clubs were promoted, but this is really a new team versus the promotion team, because I think Forest bought 2 starting 11s.
Yeah, 23, right?
Yeah, they bought
23 players.
Yeah,
including Lingard, and they just got Serge Aurier, by the way.
Yeah, they just added him.
Was he like a
yeah? He was just didn't have a team, and they got Serge Aurier.
Picked him up.
That's wild. Yeah. And they don't have a shirt sponsor, apparently, right?
No, they haven't had one. I don't think they have. I think it's by choice.
They about to need to sell some shirt sponsorships if they get relegated.
Yeah.
They should
They're selling future future revenue of shirt sponsorships?
I mean, Red Card Radio. I mean, you guys don't want any money from it anyway, so you could just throw the Red Card Radio logo on there.
It would blend with that red kit too. I'm in for it.
I'm sending an email right now.
Do
You
it.
should. 100%. I think it's an interesting game. Fulham probably win.
Yeah, is this like you think it's I don't think it's gonna be close either. Like I think that Fulham are gonna win it.
We put down our scores. Hold on, let's do our scores.
No, I did. We don't need to do all that.
We're
but
gonna put scores.
How many scores for one game?
Scores for the El Sackio.
All right.
I think I just think it's just gonna take some time for Forest, man. They need to, out of the 23 players, they just need to find their 11, see who works together, see who doesn't. It's just gonna take a little bit of time for them to get. I mean, they're still competitive in games, so they're not woeful right now. Where are they in the table? Let me look down it.
They're not West Ham. They're not Leicester.
They are in 19th, but they're on 4 points, which one more. They're on 4 points, which 1 point more would put them in 16th. So it's
yeah, but like
they're the same as West Ham, and they are 3 points better than Leicester.
I mean, yeah. But like
you didn't do your table read this week, so I get it. I understand.
I haven't looked, but like I'm sure 4 points. I think 7 points takes you all the way up to 11th. So like if they win the match, like
yeah. So they're not. They haven't. I don't think they've been woeful this year. They just haven't. They don't have their stride yet because they're not all together yet, and they need to train more. This international break will help them a lot.
Yeah,
because I don't think a lot of them. I don't think any of them are probably going on internet. They got. Serge isn't in the French team. No way. Serge is in the French team. So,
it's not like Jesse Lingard's getting called up by Southgate.
No,
so
absolutely not.
Dean Henderson, I guess, could potentially get.
Dean. Yeah, Dean is definitely going to be.
I don't think he does. I haven't seen the English squad, but Nick Pope, Ramsdale,
he's been
Pickford
playing well.
But like, how do you replace Nick Pope?
I think you dropped Pickford
by putting Dean Henderson in it. What do you mean? What do you mean? How do you replace Nick Pope with Dean Henderson? He's better.
I'm not sure.
I don't know. Nick Pope has been playing
Joel,
really
get
well.
in the comments. Joel, get in. Where's my camera? Joel, get in the comments.
Nick Pope plays for Newcastle. So let me be Joel's comment real quick.
Get in the comment. Dean Henderson is better than Nick Pope. We'll move on.
Joel's gonna laugh at that and be like, yeah, Nick Pope.
No.
He's not.
No, he's not. Anyways, so if I was forced to decide what the score of this game would be, it's going to be 3-1 Fulham. Like I said with you guys watching the Tottenham Fulham game, Mitrovic is going to Mitrovic.
That's true.
So that's why we needed a second goal, which we did. And we went up 2-0, and then Mitrovic, or it would have been dropping 2 points. It's going to happen. Whether it's a good team or a bad team or a promoted team or a commotion, it don't matter. He's going to get his goals.
We're going to do this slightly different this week because we're going to move directly. No, we'll get back to that, Brad. Don't worry. I see you highlighting. But I've already written everything down on my piece of paper and I'm ready mentally to move on to where I'm going to move on to. So that's what we're doing.
Fine. We're
going to talk about Everton and West Ham. And before we get into the match, I want score predictions. And then I want us to all put our score predictions down, and then I want us to defend our score predictions. So Brad, what's the score of Everton versus West Ham from Goodison this Sunday?
1-0 Everton.
Okay. Sean?
1-2 West Ham.
1-2. I'm coming in 3-0 Everton. Okay, so let's talk about this. We all have very different. Brad thinks it's going to be a tight affair. Sean thinks also tight, but West Ham wins. I think Everton's going to win. Let's get into this, Brad. What compels you to believe this?
All right, so West Ham have not been playing well at all.
I agree.
Besides the Chelsea game. They did play well. But that may have been because of Chelsea's lack of empathy or like
Chelsea sucking.
Close thing. Chelsea couldn't score a goal and West Ham broke out, right? Like they were counterattacking football. It's not going to be counterattacking football against Everton.
I know they would have looked. They would look better if they were in a 4-4-3.
They would have. It would have been amazing. Maybe Mendy wouldn't have gotten hurt then.
Shut up, Brad. If Mendy's actually hurt, he's the softest player that's ever played football.
He's not starting again. There's 2 games he's missing after the West Ham game, so that was a foul.
He's softer
than
butter in the
microwave. Let me get back to Everton.
He is hurt because he sucks.
Why would Graham Potter keep up the lie?
He's softer than butter that's been in the microwave, bro.
But let me get into this Everton team and why. So West Ham isn't that great. Everton now have a striker in Maupay. So they have a structure more instead of having Gordon up there. But Maupay is garbage.
I appreciate that
everyone. You say they have a striker?
Hold on. Who do you think is better, Neil Maupay or Dominic Calvert-Lewin?
DCL, but DCL is not healthy yet.
Okay, just checking, because saying that they now have a striker, it's just
now have a striker. That's why I was like,
Calvert-Lewin.
In what world am I still? Okay. Am I still here?
For the first 6 games, they have not had a striker up front because Calvert-Lewin has been hurt. So they bought Maupay, who is garbage, hot garbage, like worse than Timo Werner, hot garbage.
Okay.
So they're still going to win the game.
But it gives them a structure and a focal point.
So you spent your entire time defending your scoreline to tell us how bad Everton are.
Maupay's not going to score, but it gives them but you don't have to have Anthony Gordon up at the front anymore. He can come from the side where he's more effective.
Okay, all right.
It does look like Calvert-Lewin's been training, so I think there is a possibility that he features in this match. Just throwing that out there. Sean, why do you think West Ham are going to win the match?
Because they're flatly better than Everton. It's just a statement of fact. I think we all can agree to. Whether they've been playing good or not, whether Moyes is good or not, whether he's going to get fired after this game, which he probably will, is up for debate. What is not up for debate is that their players are factually better than Everton's players.
Objectively better.
Yes, yes. Declan Rice,
Fabianski. Coutinho plays for Aston Villa.
It's somebody that is navy blue and maroon. All right, it's one of them. Clear it.
Do you want to
2 weeks in a row?
Do you want to change your scoreline now that Coutinho is not on that team?
Absolutely not. West Ham are still factually better.
It would have been awesome
if they got Valencia, or is that Villa too?
They have Valencia, I think. Michael Anthony.
Antonio.
Yeah, Antonio. Thank you.
No, they're just factually better, and eventually their skill is going to come through. They have not had a good start to their season, but eventually their skill is going to shine.
I don't disagree with you.
So then why did you say 3-0?
3-0.
Because I think that Goodison Park has been a difficult place for teams to go. So Chelsea suffered there and Liverpool suffered there. And would you guys concede that Chelsea and Liverpool are significantly better teams than West Ham?
Yes. He's not going to say it, but yes.
Than West Ham. I'm not saying than Spurs. I'm saying than West Ham United.
No, yeah, they are.
Okay.
Yeah, they are.
So my thought about this is that and I'm going to say this with the hugest caveat I can possibly say. I am terrible about making predictions. I'm horrible about it. I all of my predictions are generally wrong. So I'm just out here for the memes mostly. But with Goodison being a difficult place to play, Everton's backs are up against the wall. West Ham's backs are up against the wall. This is a Fugazi game waiting to happen. And while I have very, very little trust in Frank Lampard to get it right, I think that his players have been meshing better than the West Ham players. I think that even though they have a really poor point tally, I think that they've looked better than necessarily their league table exhibits, I would say. And I don't know. I have this feeling that this is a match where Everton get a win. But again, of course, I could be terribly wrong. I do think that Calvert-Lewin is going to play at least some amount. Whether or not he's effective, I don't know. I'm never going to stoop to the level of saying that Neil Maupay is going to do anything for anyone because he's a cheat, and I hope he gets relegated. But in this specific match, for some reason, I think Everton are going to get a result.
Great prediction. Now, can we get to guess who's back game?
Guess who's back? Back again?
Guess who's back?
Who?
In the Prem again?
Diego
Costa.
Yeah, I should have known this is
the
where
original
you
shithousery. Yes,
original?
I am so
original. This man joined
Original?
Brad's okay. I shouldn't say Brad. Chelsea fans lifespan of understanding things is very, very short, and so
it's about 20 years.
Yeah. Okay.
Drogba left and went to Galatasaray in 2013 or something.
No, but Diego Costa is the original shithouser.
Him and David Luiz are the original shithousers.
There was nobody in the 90s shithousen?
Nope.
Do you know who Roy Keane is? Eric Cantona?
Nope.
Diego. Well, I don't know. Diego didn't play in. Eric Cantona? No.
Nope.
Luis
Suarez out here biting people, and apparently,
yeah.
Apparently Diego Costa's okay.
Vampires don't count. But
John Terry, even on your own team, John Terry's not the original.
He believes that John Terry is a fine, upstanding gentleman.
He
and
is
a productive member of society.
All right.
He is.
All right. Go ahead. All right.
I'm so confused by this question. What do you mean?
Okay.
John Terry's amazing.
All right.
But I'm really excited to see Diego Costa back in the league. I don't know how good he will do at his age, but I'm excited to see him back, and I hope he terrorizes the league for everybody but Chelsea.
Do you know what he's going to be good for? He's going to be good for forcing a red card off of a French Arsenal center back. Because I swear, every time Arsenal played against Diego Costa Chelsea, Laurent Koscielny got a red card. So I'm sorry, William Saliba, your time is up. You're about to get sent off, homie.
Yes.
It's just going to happen.
I'm still just stuck on the shithouse. I watched Diego Maradona roundhouse somebody in the face in the 80s.
Okay, but that wasn't
I don't even know if he got a red. I'm
pretty sure that game was either over or abandoned. But in Brad's defense, the Premier League started in the 90s. So Brad did say Premier League.
He did. Oh, he limited.
But
limited to the Premier League.
He probably didn't intend to limit it to the last 30 years. He probably intended to imply first division English football. But I will give him that slight amount of deference per se.
And still ignored John Terry on his own team.
This man clearly has never heard of Pizzagate or
Nemanja Vidic. Roy Keane.
Yeah,
Roy Keane is a great
David
one.
Luiz covering his eyes after drawing the foul.
Right. So
there's tons of history I forgot.
Okay.
Eric Cantona.
What is this history you speak of? I don't understand what history is.
Time out.
Eric Lamela.
What is this history?
Eric Lamela. He is the worst.
I'm so confused.
Okay. Let's actually try and analyze this game at least a little bit. You wanted to bring it up solely to talk about Diego Costa, right?
Of course.
Okay. Do we see a world where Wolves can get a result at the Molineux against City?
I don't think it's very.
I don't. I really don't.
City plays Dortmund. I have to see the City lineup before I would say that. Could they squeak by a point? Maybe. It depends if Haaland plays or not.
But Haaland's going to play at least some amount, whether he starts or not. But then you're talking about City's second team, City's B team, City's reserves are probably fighting for the Champions League in England.
But Wolves are a super strong defensive team. Can they stop Haaland? I don't know.
I mean, they have been in the past.
Wolves are a hell of a defensive team, and it's at the Molineux. So, I'm not saying it will happen. I'm saying I wouldn't be shocked if they got points.
So
they got a point.
Wolves have the most resolute defense thus far in the Premier League. They've only allowed 4 goals, whereas the next closest is 5, and that's Brighton and Hove and Spurs. So okay, that's good. Like I hear you on that. But Manchester City have scored 20 goals this season.
I'm with you. I'm not.
I'm just saying.
Like I said, will City probably get the win? Yes. Would I be shocked that Wolves pulled off a result? They got points of any kind? No.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I struggle to see where City drop points in that match personally. Now, a couple other interesting, tasty, affairs for us. I think Spurs, Leicester. Sean, do you have anything to fear from Spurs? From Leicester, excuse me.
No, that could also be an Sackio.
So, I mean, we have been talking about Brendon Rodgers and him being on the hot seat. He I think his biggest issue is, and we were talking about this a week ago when we watched, it was Everton playing Brighton, I believe it was, or excuse me, Leicester playing Brighton. Is it like they scored in like the second minute, and we're like, okay, Leicester's back, they've got their mojo back, they're gonna start playing well.
Yeah, we said that last week. Yeah,
we were like, we were both agreeing that like, okay, this is the moment where they turn their season around, and then they get banged out, like five go in, and you're like, is this a team that just doesn't give a shit anymore? Like, or is it a team that's just like, would a new manager fix the problem? Who knows?
I'm about to curse, so make sure you put the disclaimer on.
I always do.
But it's like Brendon Rodgers, clearly friend of the pod. He, like we said when we previewed West Ham and Leicester, we said that both of those teams were better. Well, West Ham ended up adding somebody. They were better from the transfer portal, American transfer window, because they didn't lose their best players.
Yeah.
And we said that about Leicester. Like, Leicester are okay because they just didn't lose what they had last year to finish as high as they did. And Brendon Rodgers' response was, "The fuck we did." Because he said that. He was like, "We didn't get anybody. What do you want me to do?"
I mean,
and then they lost 2 players in their defense.
I mean,
Well, but that was he said that
out.
he said that before Fofana.
And Schmeichel. I mean, losing Schmeichel was.
Well, I don't know if he said that. I don't know if he said that before Schmeichel, but I know he said it before Fofana because Fofana was a last minute thing.
I think Fofana was something that they knew was going to happen. It just, when does this finally get done?
He said, "We haven't added anybody. What do you want me to do with this team?" And that was funny that our comments were, "They're better because they didn't lose their best players." And would Schmeichel make a difference? I don't know. Fofana probably would. I don't know what they have coming behind, but we both said about both the teams that, well, not West Ham. West Ham is different. But what we said about Leicester is that it is kind of crazy that they lose Mahrez and then they just find a replacement and they just keep kind of trucking along and they just keep kind of doing their thing, and Vardy's like 47 or something and he's just still scoring goals. I mean, they just kind of keep doing what they do. They lose Conte, they just find somebody else to do it. They find Tielemans.
Yeah, I mean, I think that is a good point about some of those. I'm trying to find here because I think that West Ham spent a lot of money this year.
They did. Paqueta. They went and got Paqueta.
Kamara.
I'm trying to find out exactly.
They went and got. I just looked at their players. They just went and got.
They bought a striker. They bought
Scamacca. They got Paqueta. They got Palmieri, Emerson from Chelsea.
Okay, they spent 163 million pounds this summer.
They spend every year.
But they've spent a lot of money.
Significant, but that's mostly to those 2 players though that we named.
Yeah, it's
and Emerson would be
Paqueta,
fourth.
Scamacca, like 30 on.
When I was looking at their players, I did find it very funny that they spent however long ago this was. They spent a good amount on Alphonse Areola, the former PSG goalkeeper, to play back up to Lucas Fabianski.
Yo, Fabianski's a G.
He is very good. But I feel like you don't go spend the money to get a PSG goalkeeper and then have him be back up to Fabianski. But
obviously,
I did find that funny.
But I think finish your point.
I just they also got Maxwell Cornet from Burnley.
Yeah.
I don't know how much they spent on that, but They just should be. West Ham should be better, but that's not what we're talking about now. Um,
What we're talking about right
Spurs,
now is
Spurs just need to play. They just need to play the way they've been playing and just get the result.
yeah. I don't think Spurs
I think
actually
this
have any.
is a rotation game. Like you Spence and Sessegnon get
Bissouma.
in.
I think this is a perfect chance
Some
to
we get
try.
in.
I think this is a perfect chance to try Spence.
I think
Honestly.
Brian Gill should get some playing time. Let Son take the morning off.
Yeah. Yeah,
You got 5 subs now, so if it doesn't work, you can like bench
Exactly.
them all to Pummy Conte's doghouse.
You got time.
2 years.
I think Spurs should win that game handily. But
Do
if you wake up and Saturday morning, you're like, man, I need a game to watch. Might Red Card Radio, we would like to suggest to you Newcastle and Bournemouth. I think that that'll be an exciting match from St. James Park, and also there's only so much football that 3 dudes can watch. So if you could watch that game for us, hit us up in the comments with like match report, referee report. If there's any VAR incidents, we'd love to hear. Brad send all of your VAR incidents to @KSBradG. He loves them on Twitter.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's my favorite.
if you wanted to, just hit us up on the YouTube comments with the Newcastle Bournemouth recap, so we can talk about it next week. And that's going to be Red Card Radio's pick of the week for you, dear friends and listeners. Is that it? Is that all we got, guys? I think that's it.
That's it.
So, your job this weekend is to watch some football, enjoy some games, and check back in with us next week where we will break it all down for you. Hit us up on Twitter as always. That's @KSBradG. That's @Whiteheart_Sean. I am @James Tiffany. We collectively are @Redcard_Radio. You can hit us up anytime. If you aren't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Ring the sub notification bell. 5-star it on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you're listening. And hit us up in the YouTube comments and leave us your thoughts. We'd love to hear from you. But until next time, we will see you. Have a great time and enjoy some football this weekend. Goodbye.